here we are. Godzilla is in the house, the Nissan GT-R. Now, unfortunately, we only have this for a few days, and Adam is in New York launching his new book, not Taco Bell material, so he's gonna miss this, but we're gonna have some fun with this car. This thing is pretty amazing. Even though the GT-R's been out for something like 5 years now, it's still worth having on the show because this car is just so cool to have. Now, it hit North America, I think 2008 with 480 horsepower. Over the years, it's been revised. They changed the suspension a little bit to make it a little bit smoother. The power now for 2013 is 545 horsepower. The specs on it are phenomenal. Inside line tested it, again, 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, 2.9 with the rollout, which is 2.9 seconds is nuts. That's absolutely insane. So the design is kind of one of these things like, do you like it? Do you hate it? It's just, it's not really the best looking car out there. It certainly isn't, but it's so cool. And everybody says it's awesome that you kind of want to believe it is. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like Cameron Diaz of cars. Like you think she's really that hot, but it's not really. It's just everything around her says it's hot. That's kind of what this car is. Now, for 2013, they've had the black edition. I think it was out last year before, but the black edition is this, which is weird because it does come in red and other colors, but the black edition adds the lightweight raised wheels. It adds Recaro seats with the red trim, which we'll take a look at in a second, and the dry carbon fiber wing, which I imagine is lighter than plastic. There's some Japanese kind of bits to it. The interior kind of still feels a little bit like a 370Z with, you know, just pumped up a little bit. So it's like if the Corvette ZR1 and the Porsche Turbo like adopted a Japanese baby and raised it as their own, this is kind of what I feel like it would be. This is a 3.8 liter V6. It is obviously twin turbo. The engines are completely hand built. And what they've done differently to get this extra bump to 545 horsepower, last year was 530, was they just changed some of the piping that goes to the turbo intercoolers and to the intake, gives it a little bit more flow, and that gives it a little bit more power. And I think they changed the exhaust a little bit. The seats are great. The technology is kind of neat. The guys that did Gran Turismo did all the programming for the screen. The interfaces are cool. You can customize them. We'll flip through some screens so you guys can see some of that. But not just like your handling and braking performance. And there's a G meter, but it shows you fuel flow. It shows you what gears and stuff you're in. It shows you all sorts of temperature controls. It has some really, really neat features for that, and you can program it any way you want. These are our GT-R floor mats. These are $280 option. So this car winds out about 7,000 RPM, but sitting here like this, it obviously doesn't want to do that. So even just revving it up, it barely hits 5,000 RPM. So to really hear it, we're gonna have to take it out on the road. Of course, one of the coolest features of this is its launch control. I think they call it an R mode or something like that for the launch control, but it does have it. You can adjust the driveline, you can adjust the suspension, and you can adjust the traction. And when you put these in the right combination of R mode, this thing will do 0 to 60 runs all day long as fast as it could possibly do. So I say we absolutely need to see that happen. We can't get a GT-R and not go out for a few runs with this car. Let's go check that out. The switches and stuff are very similar to the 370Z and some of the other cars. They just pulled some switches out of the parts bin. Of course, that makes the car more affordable, but it kind of takes some of that supercar feel out of it, you know. And even with this amount of power, they still manage to get 23 miles per gallon highway. I think maybe it's 22, but I think it's 16 and 23. And you can average almost 19 miles per gallon. To get that kind of power is pretty amazing and still get fairly decent fuel mileage. So as this car sits, with the Black Edition package on it. This car is $107,600. Now, when a car came out in 2008, it was priced around $80,000. A couple options get you about $84,000. So as the power has gone up and the suspension tuning, some things like that, the price has definitely gone up as well. I mean, without the Black Edition package, the car is still $100,000. So in the interior, we got some neat stuff. The carbon fiber plates here for the trim. I'm not sure it does anything other than just change the look, which is kind of neat. These three switches down here are how we change the ride. We have a drive line switch. The transaxle is in the back again, kind of like the Corvette. So instead of the transmission being up front, attached to the transmission, it's in the back for better weight balance. There's an R mode for that, and then the save mode is more like an economy mode. Only when you're on the freeway doing a long run, you can put it in that. You can kind of feel everything sort of relax. Fuel flow, gearing, everything sort of relaxes a little bit. Throttle control gets reduced a little bit. It's supposed to help fuel mileage, but we haven't done that much driving to know if there's much of a difference. The suspension now is has a comfort mode, a normal mode, and an R mode. The ride is still harsh, and what they keep saying is the GTR has improved suspension over the years, but it's still, you're not going to get over a G handling performance on the car and have it ride like a Cadillac. So it's still a little bit of a harsh ride, but again, it's not bad because you still kind of feel like you're in this race car and you kind of want to be able to feel it a little bit. And then the traction control mode. And the combination of these, of the right R modes in this will allow us to do launch control, which we'll go through in a minute. And then the screen. We're saying the guys from the video game company Gran Turismo designed the screen, and it's completely user adjustable. This knob over here allows you to change the screen. These are some custom views that were programmed in here by somebody, maybe Nissan, to show you different options, what you can do, but you can get any configuration of gauges. You can change the gauges. Like right now, my foot's on the brake, and you can see the brake pedal gauge there. It's kind of neat. It's amazing that they can steering input. There's some gear there. Fuel economy, we're not showing much there. Stopwatch, we can do some track times. Giant boost gauge. I don't know why you need a boost gauge that big, but I guess you can make it any way you want. Let's see if it changes. There we go. This is kind of neat. Fuel flow. Coolant temp. That's it. And you can kind of set them up any way you want, but let's try it. This switch here, you hold that to R mode. You can leave the suspension the way it is. You put the traction control to R mode, and that's essentially it. Now we can put it in, we're in manual. You don't have to be in manual, but we are. And you basically put your left foot on the brake, mash the throttle down, and it'll rev up and not launch. And when you let your foot off the brake, it'll take off on its own. And the sweet spot is around 4,000 RPMs. Now again, we can see that the road is dusty, so we'll see what kind of traction we get, but. We need a longer road, but man, it just takes off. All right, we're gonna try this launch control one more time. Now we're in manual, we're gonna just rev it, hit it. I don't know if you're going to see that on camera, but the brakes are pretty phenomenal. It's got the, I think they upgraded the brakes this past year as well. I think they're 15.4 inch in the front with 6 piston calipers, and I don't know what size in the back, but it's 4 piston in the back. Okay, there we have it. We're taking a ride in the 2013 Nissan GTR, one of the most fun cars we've had on the show so far. If you get a chance, you got to get in one of these cars. They're awesome.